This preview brought to you by Harness Racing Victoria.
Yes, it is a tremendous meeting coming up at Melton's Tabcorp Park tonight, and it should be said at Menangle's Tabcorp Park tomorrow night as well. We'll certainly touch on that one later on, but let's get into this Melton meeting. And a reminder that in this current state of play, we're offering some tremendous bonuses for first four punters, both at Melton tonight and Menangle tomorrow night. Guaranteed $10,000 first four pools on all 10 races at Melton tonight, and they have proven tremendously popular. So a reminder right through this 10-race card. Well, let's get into it. Have a look at the opening race, and we're going to start with a short price favourite tonight. You're a Nut has been very impressive. 7 from 7 since coming from New South Wales to join the Sugars team, and should have enough gate speed to boot up and hold the lead tonight. There is a bit of pace on the front row. Sky Predictor has it on top. You're a Nut over Echevarria, the 3-year-old who's taking on older horses but is very, very consistent. Tara Top Lady has a nice draw, and Pine Vale Willpower. I put them in You're a Nut on top. I was pretty keen on it being able to hold the lead, and if it does, it then becomes a little bit of a tactical battle. Echevarria won't be afraid to come and do the work outside of the leader over the short trip, if that's what's required. And Tara Top Lady, if You're a Nut leads, Tara Top Lady drawn inside of the back row will camp on its back and sweat on the sprint lane run. You're a Nut on top really picks itself. The only curveball is if it is headed off at the start, it could become more interesting. You're a Nut to beat the 3-year-old Echevarria, who's had a wonderful season. I think 10 wins already this season. Tara Top Lady with that gun run probably behind the leader for third. And Astronaut's drawn nicely enough, and the form this season, particularly in the past 6 weeks or so, has been good. 1, 5, 8 and 2 in the opening event. I mentioned the first fours. I'm going to highlight a couple of first fours that I think are worth playing tonight. And let's start on this opening event. With You're a Nut expected to hold the front, I do think it'll win. I'm going to take it 1 out. For second and third, I'm putting in the 3-year-old Echevarria and Tara Top Lady with the lovely run. Then going a little bit wider for third, 2, 5, 8 and 9. And for fourth, popping in numbers 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 and 11. So to get the full 100%, that will cost you $36. Over to the second event at Melton tonight, and this is one of a number of races for the trotters. There's a strong trotting flavour to this meeting, and the Sky Predictor's got Cold Sister, the American bred, rated on top, and why wouldn't it? Cold Sister is the class runner over Jingling Silver, Zedalite, a former top juvenile, and Our Dolly Wood, just struggling to find its best form at the moment. On to my selections. I'm going with the class runner Cold Sister. Has had a lot better form in even stronger races than this at different times this season. I think Cold Sister, despite the wide draw, can go forward, take an aggressive position in this race, David Aiken, the trainer and driver, and be a little bit too good for her rivals. 7 on top to beat number 4, Jingling Silver. A winner on Great Southern Star Day in one of the feature races there, has been freshened up, gone to the trials to be sharpened up for this in recent times, and Daryl Douglas takes a drive, has good gate speed. Tender Ho back to good winning form in an easier race last start. We'll need that little bit of luck from the inside back row. And Our Dolly Wood was a feature winner earlier this season. Nothing flash about the 2 runs back from a spell, but should be getting fitter and draws nicely in 3. So 7 to beat 4, 8 and 3 for me in race 2. Over to the third event, another one for the trotters here, and this is for the Vic-bred trotters. Not a lot of depth about this race, it's got to be said. I'm looking for a bit of value here. We'll look at the Sky Predictor firstly, going with the likely favourite Son of Parko, who was very strong last start after doing a fair bit of work outside of the leader in a Vic-bred heat, which was a stronger race than this. Over Monica My Dear from the good draw, Sunset Tour and Elder Baron Sunstar. That's the Sky Predictor. My thoughts are a little different. I'm going to go with Sunset Tour at the value. Ran third to Tender Ho, who we mentioned is one of the chances in a much stronger second race tonight. And I think it's good enough form to say that Sunset Tour can be very competitive here. Gavin Lang takes the drive, and I'm putting Sunset Tour on top, expecting somewhere around the $5, $6 mark, hence the value I'm talking about tonight. Over number 11, Elder Baron Sunstar. This is a A trotter who's taken a bit of time for Chris Lang Sr., but is starting to deliver. Appears to be at its best when it's just coiled up and saved for a big sprint at the finish. Son of Parko will be there, no doubt about it. I just thought it was a little bit under the odds. Top young driver Zach Phillips takes a drive and gets it in quite well with the claim, but it does have the back row. And Monica My Dear is consistent for trainer driver David Murphy and has the pole position from the mobile. 5, 11, 9 and 1 in race 3. Well, race 4 starts the quaddie tonight, and well, I think it's a race where Composed is an absolute class runner. He's a really good quality horse. He's dropping back in grade. He's got form in better races than this. But, of course, he will need that little bit of luck. He's on top as the Sky Predictor. Over Jukebox Music, Atlas Alliance, who comes into play from the draw and has been well back fixed odds, and number 12, Qatari Roland. Speaking of the fixed odds market, here it is now. Atlas Alliance is the one that they've backed into favouritism from $4.60 into $3.50. Composed at $4, I think represents value. Lovable Larrikin at $4.60. Toulouse-Lautrec at $7. Next best is Jukebox Music at $8. Well, my selections, I'm going to go with Composed here. I like the performance. And this is actually Have a Bender, I think, from... yeah, this is Have a Bender from last week. We will have a look at this replay because Have a Bender, he is one I'm very, very keen on later on. So we might get back to him a little bit later, Have a Bender. But I'm going with Composed here despite the back row draw. Lovable Larrikin was very, very good here last week when doing the work. Here's this run of Composed I wanted to show you. This is out of a free-for-all, so a much better field than this. He's 3 back on the inside. It's not really his go to do this. He's a horse who likes to be more out in the open, but he's sitting 3 back on the inside. You can see the horse behind the leader struggling and not doing him any favours. Let's pick up Dan's call.
Gets its chance tonight, though. Led 6 metres. Smudge Bromac battling on. Then came our Blackbird down the outside. Mochu Crusader, but it's Decorated Jasper. And Decorated Jasper's back on the winning list. Decorated Jasper won it from either out wide Mochu Crusader or Jack and Flight. Composed got through late. Then Smudge Bromac.
And that's the key. Got through late. Just lost all momentum. And the horse trailing the leader was dropping back in its face. Impossible to try and get momentum. I'm really, really keen on it tonight. Race 4, number 9, Composed, as probably my equal bet of the night. Might be a little bit of value around that $4 mark. Composed on top to beat 6, Lovable Larrikin. Atlas Alliance well back. Doesn't surprise me from the draw over the sprint trip. It's the likely leader. And Qatari Roland will need luck from outside of the back row, but still has that little bit of dash of class about it. Let's move now to race 5. In the eyes of many, this is a match race between the Sunraysia visitor for Shane Cramp in Maastricht and also the quality mare Beauty Secret, who has been an absolute gem of a filly all the way through and now is a 4-year-old mare. Beauty Secret is the Sky Predictor, just ahead of Maastricht, and then a gap to another quality mare in Lama Shane and Tombstone Eden. They look the 4, more specifically they look the 2. In the fixed odds market, the support, if anything, it's probably been for Maastricht. They're equal favourites at $3.20. Classic Bliss, who didn't appear in the top 4 there, but has a stamp of class as well at $6 with Lama Shane. Hexham Heartbeat at $8, Chloe at $11. Tombstone Eden for me is a value at $13. We're going to have a look at my thoughts on the race now, and also a suggested first 4 on this race. I think that Maastricht and Beauty Secret will fight it out. I don't mind Maastricht at the $3.20. I'm going to put it on top to beat the quality mare in Beauty Secret. Lama Shane, another of the classy mares here, and Tombstone Eden certainly comes into play as well. Was good last start behind Beauty Secret, Tombstone Eden. My suggested first 4 on this one, I'm putting the 2 favourites in to win. That's Maastricht and Beauty Secret, going a little bit wider with 3, 4, 7, 12 for second, then 3, 4, 5, 7, 12 for third. And for fourth, 1, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 and 12. $45 gets you 50% there in a flexi for the first 4 in race 5, I should say. That's the second leg of the quaddie. The third leg of the quaddie, race 6, is the Winter Trotters Cup final. Now, Elder Baron Shades was tremendous, winning first up last week from this draw, barrier 1 from the stand. Was all about manners, stepped well, led, controlled the race and won easily. He is the Sky Predictor top rater over the other heat winner, Waikari Aristocrat. Duke of Moment there, as is Bacchus Cobber, who has to come from the 10-metre handicap. Going to have a look at the fixed odds now, and where's the money been? A little bit of support for the favourite and no real support for the second pick, Waikari Aristocrat. 250 into 240 Aldebaran Shades. Waikari Aristocrat's been $3.50 out to $4. $6 Earl Harbour, $7 Duke of the Moment, $16 or better the rest. If anything, Bacchus Cobber at $16 represents a little bit of value. My thoughts here, I'm going with Aldebaran Shades. He's a trotter that was outstanding at 2 and 3. He's a trotter that Chris Lang Sr., his trainer-driver, hopes can take him into Group 1 races and maybe even overseas to a race like the Elite Lop in time. He should be winning, but he will need to step safely from Barrier 1. I'll put him in over at Waikari Aristocrat, who came back from Menangle after winning the Trotter Series up there and then won well here last week at surprisingly good odds. Love You Good Boy is getting back into something like its best form, and Bacchus Cobber's racing well, but will have a lot of traffic to overcome from that 10-metre handicap with a full field in this race. 1, 5, 3 and 15 in race 6, the Trotters Cup. Race 7 tonight, the last leg of the quaddie, and no doubt a lot of people will be looking to the class runners off the back row here, but it is Have a Bender who is the emerging horse of the race. I think the one with the most upside still in its career to come. That is the Sky Predictor top rater at 100 over Decorated Jasper, who is not as effective from the back row. Broadway's Best, the Classy Mare, and Motu Crusader next best. Have a look at the fixed odds here, and Have a Bender is the favourite, but in a very open race at $3.80. I think that represents terrific value. I think Have a Bender will start shorter than that, maybe around the $3 mark. Smudge Bromac at $4.60 will need luck from the back row draw. Cullen Bromac at $5, Decorated Jasper at $5, Varangi $6, On the Razzle $7. Motu Crusader and Broadway's Best are the other value runners for mine at $8 and $10 respectively. We gave you a little teaser towards Have a Bender's run last week. As we go to the replay here, this is a standing start race. He made a mess of the start, probably gave away 30 metres at least, had to circle the field, sit outside of the leader, and when you consider that, look how well he boxes on. Here's Dan's call.
A metre in front from Have a Bender is still right there. Right behind them, Pacific Soul awaiting the run. Then 3 wide out, Blackbird, Sterling Charmer, 4 deep to lose the trek, runs on the widest. Into the straight, it's Pocket Boy from Have a Bender. Pacific Soul getting through. It's Pocket Boy with Pacific Soul. Pacific Soul dashed through to hit the lead now and comes clear. And Pacific Soul goes on to win it. Good go for the Miners. Jukebox Music might have grabbed second right on the post in front of Pocket Boy, and a photo for fourth between Have a Bender, who was a big run, and Baltic Ice. Then HQ.
Oh, look, I thought he was absolutely terrific there. There's no question if he had have stepped away in that race, he would have won. And I'm making him my bet of the night. We were keen on him last week. I didn't expect that gallop at the start, but I think he can make amends this week, Have a Bender. Race 7, number 3 for new trainer Jeff Webster. Putting him on top to beat 10 Motu Crusader, who is a quality horse, used to be with the McCarthy teams up there in Queensland, now down with Karen Manning, will be fitter for a really good first up run from a long break. Then Broadway's Best. Look, she beat the mares last week. I thought she was just okay doing it. She certainly passed her best. And Decorated Jasper enjoyed the front row, but goes to outside of the back row this week. 3, 10, 11 and 12 in race 7. Over to race 8 on the 10 race card tonight. And here we see, I think, one of the most exciting young pacers in Victoria stepping out in Major Look. Just looks too good for his opposition again tonight. He's put together a fantastic winning streak for trainer-driver Ian Montgomery. He's going to win a lot better races than this, and he'll dominate the betting at about $1.20. 4 Major Look, the Sky Predictor on top over Our Missionary Man, another promising pacer, Mr. Levan, and then the filly taking on the boys, Our Femme Fatale. Now we're going to have a look at my thoughts on the race. I'm going with Major Look. He certainly picks himself. It's impossible to go past him. I think he can win, maybe even win a Group 1 race. A race like the Vic Bred final could be within his grasp. He's that good. Our Missionary Man for second. Easy Lightning at a bit of value to spice up the trifecta. And then Mr. Levan in for fourth. 4, 5, 3 and 6 in race 8. Let's get to the 9th event now at Melton. I've got to say here, this is a dreadfully thin race. It's been made even weaker now by the scratching of Shakatomic, who would have been close to favourite. On top, I never thought I'd say this, but Martial Artist is the top rater over Fiery Count. Bad Cat and Willoughby. That's how the Sky Predictor sees them. I see them a little bit differently. You look at Bad Cat's form and say, how can you tip this horse with 8-0-0 next to its name? Well, I think Bad Cat was probably going to win last start before making a mistake. That said, Bad Cat does that, appropriately named. Bad Cat, bad horse sometimes. But has the ability over most of these to beat 8 Martial Artist, who will certainly, first up for a new stable in David and Lisa Miles, and has done enough at the trials recently. Willoughby's well past his best, but will battle away from 3. And our Icarus could be the big improver. 9, 8, 3 and 4 in race 9. And over to the last of 10. Well, the Emma Stewart and Clayton Tonkin stable dominate this one, according to most, with Major Secret and also Presidential Secret. They'll be the 2 that'll head the betting. I've really been taken by Major Secret, firstly with its form in a Futurity series over there in Adelaide, and then when it came back to win a Vic Bred heat. I think there's a real sort of tick of potential next to Major Secret, and I'm happy to go for it despite facing its biggest test from a back row draw. That's right, has been freshened up, has been good at the Mildura trials recently, and there was a lot to like about the fast finishing win here at Melton, beating a quality youngster in Business in Motion last start. Viewpoint represents a value, should be ready to improve, just struggling to get back to its best form, but I'm tipping a better run tonight. And then Presidential Secret, who will have support to win this race, just not sure it's quite up to Major Secret. That's my opinion. The stable may have a different opinion. 8, 7, 6 and 5 from me in the last of 10 at Melton. Well, let's sum up the meeting now, and my best bet is Have a Bender. He owes us after last week, and I think he can deliver and make amends in the free-for-all race 7, number 3. And as mentioned on the run-through, Composed was luckless and finished really well in a better race last time and gets his chance. He looks really well graded. Race 4, number 9 tonight. Going to have a go at the quaddie as well. In the first leg, I'm going to pop in numbers 1, 4, 6 and 8. Along with numbers 9, 10 and 12. So that's 1, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12. Very wide the first leg. Second leg to cut costs, numbers 3 and 7. Third leg, numbers 1 and 5. And then coming home with numbers 3, 10, 11 and 12. And if you want to go the whole hog, that's $112 for the full 100%. So that's our look at a tremendous meeting at Melton tonight. Good luck if you're getting involved. As usual, it's an early start, but not as early as it has been lately. The first race at 6:07.